Greetings, everyone. If you're Canadian, I hope you had a happy Canada Day. If you're American, I hope you had a happy Independence Day. That happens to be the day I'm recording this. So, without any further ado, hi, my name is William, and I'd like to talk to you about the Kansas City Qualifiers for American Ninja Warrior Season 9 in 20 minutes or less, starting now. So, for Kansas City, this time the course was, of course, the floating steps. Then it was followed by the hang glider, which wasn't really a fan of, to be perfectly honest. I think it's the weakest obstacle so far from this season. It's two handles that you hold on to, and they have a few drops, and then you have to grab onto this wing chime and then swing to the platform. The handles are basically a reuse from the Stage 2 first obstacle of A&W 5. So, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like the look of it. So, yeah, that's kind of going to pass on that one. And then after that was the another brand new obstacle called the Broken Pipes. Basically, they took two spinning log balance beams and they kind of offset them. And in the middle, there's like this little wobbly spring that looks like it's something that you would find in Sonic the Hedgehog. And so basically, you run across and then you just make a little turn and get to the next one. It's basically just kind of like to offset people. And then after that was the winner of last year's obstacle design contest, Crank It Up. This was designed by SMF member Kevin Barecki. So hey Kevin. Actually hung out with Kevin during the final stage of the National Ninja League Finals. This obstacle, you got like two handles. They're ratchet styles. You have to use your body to crank up like this. Just go this, or you can use your body to go up like this, almost kind of like salmon ladder style. You're doing big circles with that. There's actually a video of Akbar attempting to do the Crank It Up. So I'll post a link to that in the description. Also, I remember in the Crashing the Course, because they had Kevin on there describing his obstacle, he talked about how, like, the name Crank It Up gives, like, the commentators a lot of, some chances to do some puns and stuff. And I don't know, maybe it was just me. It didn't feel like they did a lot of that. It was just kind of like a whole, oh, yeah, they could talk about Crank It Up, but they actually didn't. So, I don't know, it's a bit weird with that. They could have done a lot more with the wordplay. And then afterwards was the bar hop, returning again. I like the bar hop. It's very simple. Just take the bar, whoop, hop to the other side with the hooks. I like it as an A&W obstacle, not so much a Team Ninja Warrior obstacle. But yeah, it's fine. Like it. Then, of course, it is the warped wall. So, as far as presentation is concerned, how did the show do? The show was okay. I think this time around, there wasn't anything egregiously bad. There was some that was kind of iffy, but there was nothing too egregious. Some stuff I don't agree with, but I guess we'll start with just the absolute negatives. So I guess for me, the worst negative was the vignette for Maggi Thorne. Maggi Thorne's a good competitor, for those who don't know. And I guess the big story was that even though both she and her husband competed last year, they got divorced in between then and now, and I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't like the idea of having the people tell their story and be all crying and stuff. And, like, we don't. It's just one of those weird things where it's like, obviously I have nothing against Maggi Thorne, but there was this weird feeling like they were making it seem like, it was like really bad, the divorce, where, I mean, she just said like there was like arguing and fighting and stuff, but like, I don't know. It almost felt like it was like a one-sided argument. um, with the way the story is presented. I get that the idea was that the main story was that the support from the ninja community and all that, but I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better way to tell it. It's mainly just getting rid of the whole crying part. The big inspirational story this time was supposed to be Jimmy Choi, who has Parkinson's, and his segment did go pretty long just because they had a whole segment with Michael J. Fox giving a video of support to Jimmy, and it's fine. It was fine. He did better than I think some people expected. He went on the broken pipes, which kind of surprising because that his Parkinson's shouldn't have any disadvantage for him on that one. Yeah, and then we also had have it on here. Oh yeah, Kyle Schulze. Yes, Kyle Schulze. He's deaf. That's his thing. He's deaf, and he ended up qualifying top 30. He failed the bar hop. Commentary was a bit weird on that one because they were acting like really surprised that he was doing well, and there was a lot of like, "Whoa, can't believe where's all this coming from? Can't believe it." And it's like, I mean, the guy's deaf. He's not blind. He can see all the obstacles. It's not like there's any obstacle where like you have to like listen to the obstacle or anything like that. So I don't get where like the extra enthusiasm was coming from. It just sounds weird how they do that sometimes. And the only other real negative presentation wise was the first guy, Chris Lang. He's a returning competitor, and they did this whole skit about him wearing short shorts, and they played the original song from back in the day that's old, and it's a comedy gimmick song. It's not a good song, quite frankly. And A&W comedy can be very hit or miss sometimes, and this was a very big miss. And I think the thing that bothered me the most about the whole short things is that his shorts weren't really that short. Like, I get that they're above the knee, but you can go way shorter for short shorts. It's not like he's wearing hot pants, something that HG would wear. Or, a couple of years ago, we used to have a competitor that would wear a tuxedo Speedo. Like, the whole short shorts gimmick doesn't really work when you've already had competitors in the past wear even less. If you really want him to go with the whole wearing shorts, have him wear a G-string mankini. Oh man, I could have said that with a straight face. Yeah, that would have. There was actually in the one episode of Spartan I watched, there was a guy who did that. They ended up censoring his butt because they didn't want to show that. But I mean, can't get much shorter than that outside of wearing nothing underneath. So I'm just saying, if you're going to commit to short shorts, go shorter. Oh God. I'm sorry. That made me laugh too much. So okay, so there is one other issue I wanted to talk about. Sara Showback. And it's not just her. I don't want to make it sound like I'm singling her out, especially because she just liked something that I posted on Twitter. She seems like a nice woman, but she's a gym owner, stay-at-home mom, not single mom, stay-at-home mom also. And she competed on the course. She ended up having the best female performance. But again, this wasn't just her, but she's the one that really I guess made it a point to me in a way. So in between the obstacles of her run, she would do this little dance and be like, it's a really not cool dance, quite frankly, but more importantly, and this just was on her, Dougie Fresh, Devin Harrelson, he did this too, and there's other people who have done this. I really don't like it when competitors celebrate in between obstacles. And, it doesn't matter if they're going, try to hype up the crowd or anything like that. I don't like it. Simply because this isn't pro wrestling. You're not playing to the crowd. You're not trying to, taunt and anything like that. This is a competition. Time is important. Unless you clear the course, how fast you got to the obstacle that you failed matters. And so, if you are, celebrating in between obstacles, it is entirely possible that could cost you. And I think not enough competitors realize that. You really shouldn't be celebrating in between each obstacle because it could cost you your ability to move on to the next round. And that is just something that, this isn't me trying to be hard on any particular person. It's just that, Showback was the one that sort of, made me want to talk about this. You can't do it. You need to concentrate. You need to compete. You need to try to get to the end, or it could cost you. I'm just saying. Anyway, so let's talk about some cool stuff. So Dougie Fresh, as I mentioned, he was cool. I like his look. He shouldn't always be taunting in between obstacles, but he made it to the warped wall, which actually, it's been a while since someone's failed the warped wall. We've had two people this time, and the last time someone failed the warped wall was back in LA, the first regional, so I think that might be more of an indication of how difficult the obstacles before the warped wall are in the regionals. We had the Towers of Power, Brendan Mears. They had this profile about him trying to have a baby with his wife, and it's congratulations to them for finally getting pregnant after years of difficulty, but it's I don't know, it wasn't really necessary. I guess it kind of feels like they're trying to humanize him or whatever. I don't know. I'd rather just see him and Dan do more fireman bro training things. But that's just me. Hunter Gerard. Yes. So Hunter Gerard, this was actually really cool. So he took third place in the National Ninja League Finals, for those who don't know. And on commentary, Eisman actually referenced this. They actually said that he took third place in the National Ninja League Finals, and he said behind other greats like Drew Dreschel. Didn't mention the fact that Alexander Mars was the one who took second place, because I think he was in USA versus the World? I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to say yes, he was. But, yeah. Actually, that's pretty cool. And actually, National Ninja League Season 3 is about to start with the qualifiers again. So look to that if you're planning on competing. I'm not. So anyway, so yeah. But, he cleared the course. Dan Palese ended up getting fast forward. He failed the bar hop. Yes, failed the bar hop. But they're both moving on, so that's cool. Good for them. What do we got here? We have... Lance Pekus was the final run. I like his profile piece because it's just one of those, it's a simple redemption storyline, how he didn't do well last time and now he's doing well this time. It's simple, it's effective, it's tried and true, it's proven that it works, and it did. And so he got the fastest time of the night, which was actually kind of unexpected, quite frankly, but hey, good for him. Good for him. Glad to see he is back on the right course. They did this weird thing at one point with fast forwards where they showed two people clearing the broken pipe, and then they didn't show you how they failed. So that was kind of weird. What else? We had Rich Talveria, a 70-year-old, run the course. He cleared the first obstacle, making him the new record holder for oldest to clear an obstacle. So good for him. We had was it a walk on? Oh yeah, so Jelani Allen. He was walk on. Apparently there was like 6 walk-ons who moved on to stage 2. He was one of them. He cleared the course. I believe they said like he had just turned 21, and his grandfather helped him get to the regionals. Good for him. Actually, I think he looked good. He had a good save on the broken pipe. He fell at the very end, but like he held on and pulled himself up. So good for him. Good for him. Almost kind of avoided disaster right there. Ethan Swanson competed. I was glad to see him again. He ended up clearing the whole thing. David Carbonell also completed, but he had to wait in the walk-on line. I was a bit surprised by that. Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to really mention? Yeah, I guess that's about it. The only other thing I want to bring up is that in addition to one person from SMF winning the obstacle contest, we also had 2 SMF members make it into the top 30. We had Ben Baker, who actually cleared the whole course, and we had Donovan Matoyer, who failed Crank It Up, and but still qualified for the top 30. So congratulations to both you guys. So I guess just one final note about the obstacles. And oh yeah, I completely forgot about Hunter Garrard. I'm sorry. I completely forgot about Hunter's run. I was too busy talking about the National Ninja League. Okay, Hunter. So, okay, first the good part. He actually had a much shorter profile piece. It was an inset promo. Where it was just him talking about like his tongue, cause like the whole lizard man thing. I think we need more profile pieces that just do that. You don't need like this well produced 2-minute promo like some other people have. But when Hunter was really good, he was going really fast, but then he failed the bar hop when he tried doing like this backward reach thing. What's up with that? Like, Hunter, man, what were you thinking? I didn't agree with that at all, and especially because he failed. But so hopefully he learns. Only other thing I want to mention is that when I was watching the Crashing the Course, I noticed that in that version, Crank It Up only had 2 cranks. And a lot of people seem to fail Crank It Up this time around. The cutoff, when the cutoff is the 4th obstacle and not the 5th, it's a bit questionable whether or not they made it too hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if they limit Crank It Up to 2 cranks instead of 3 for the regional finals. So if they end up doing that, then that means they made the course a little bit easier so people can get to the back half. But either way, it was a really cool obstacle, and I think this was a solid episode. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was good. It was at times it was inoffensive. There was nothing truly bad. The talking about divorce thing was a bit uncomfortable, and the Parkinson's thing was fine. But yeah, I would say overall it was an episode, and one that had some good moments to it. So I'm just going to run through the top 30 and, of course, the top 5 women. So, first 10 people. Before that, almost forgot. So I counted 14 runs on the show, 1 that was shown in progress, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 29 fast forwards. In addition, I counted that there were 7 clears shown on the show, but there was actually 10. So the 10 who cleared the course were Lance Pekus, Brendan Mears, Tyler Yamaguchi, Tyler Smith, Ethan Swanson, Brock Bebot, David Kavanaugh, Ben Baker, Jelani Allen, and Dennis Lappin. The next 2 failed the warped wall. That would be Devin Harrelson and Todd Mitchell. And then the ones who failed the bar hop were Hunter Garrard, Kyle Mendoza, Jeremiah Morgan, Dan Polizzi, Eric Middleton, Drew Henry, Alex Carson, Mitch Vedipo, Brad Spine, Bobby Bonaham, Wes Whittenlin, Kyle Schultze, and Morgan Wright. And the last 5 people on top 30 failed Crank It Up. That would be Michael Borger, Darren Perez, Donovan Matoyer, Craig Schaefer, and Spencer Johnson. And then the top 5 women moving on to the regional finals are Sara Showback, Annie Dueck, Abby Paul, Maggie Thorne, and Sarah Heeson. All 5 of those women failed Crank It Up. So, this is actually the first regional that there was no women in the top 30. And that is everything that I have to say about Kansas City. So, what did you think overall? Did you like the Kansas City episode? Was there anything you didn't care for? Did you like the hang glider more than I did? Because I wasn't a big fan of that one. Let me know. And I will see you next week when we talk about the next episode of American Ninja Warrior. Until then, see you everyone.